Before we get into the video, this is not a accusation. This is a hyper accusatory question that I'm asking because I just genuinely don't know. And based on what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing, I think it is. But we have to get into this video. In this world full of autistic people and AI, bearing between which one a person is very difficult, very hard, and very strategically stupid to try to do. But when I think somebody's AI, I'm going to call it out. Not because I have anything particularly against AI, but because, I don't like the idea of things being fake at all and people getting tricked into an opinion that they may not have just because, the opinion that they're getting their stuff from is literally like a Russian robot trying to destroy the world. It doesn't even make any sense, okay? But this is Unvoke. Unvoke is a YouTuber who's been posting on the grind. He's been on the grind for decades now, basically. And I wouldn't have minded at all, literally at all, not even for a second would I have cared if he didn't sound like this.
As some of you might already know, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 had a shockingly awful $180,000 opening day in Japan. That's right, Sonic's latest movie massively flopped in the very country that created him. This is especially crazy when you consider how much Paramount tried to appeal to Japanese audiences this time around. They gave the movie a special Japanese title, Sonic X Shadow Tokyo Mission.
For real, is he autistic or a robot? I don't hate autistic people, and in fact, I have to take some medicine to help with my issues. But I think that when you hear the lack of emotion in his voice, when you hear the lack of anything that gives you a semblance of actual care, actual feeling, or anything at all, you just feel dead and cold on the inside. And this isn't a thing where I genuinely hate this guy. It's not a thing where I genuinely feel like this guy is literally killing all the kids and making the world a worse place. But it is a thing where I do look at this and just say, holy shit, everything we know and love will be controlled by something like this. Something like this will take over our world and make it worse, alright? Let me play more of the video for you, because it doesn't just stop there. It gets worse and worse as it goes on, as the monotonous drone to the background just gives you the feeling of an emptiness, a cold, dead heart that hits you directly in your soul.
Tokyo is featured prominently in the storyline. Paramount even collaborated with One OK Rock, an extremely popular Japanese rock band, on the movie's theme song and promotion. They pulled out all the stops to make Sonic 3 a huge event in Japan, and yet it completely tanked. $180,000 opening day. But honestly, maybe we shouldn't be so surprised, because the truth is, Sonic has always struggled to connect with audiences in his homeland. A lot of that comes down to some core elements of his design and personality. I mean, just look at Sonic's color scheme: red, white, and blue.
If you know anything about Sonic, you know that Sonic is blue because of the company's colors. That's just the company's color. It's the company's main color. It's the most simple thing. It's the most obvious thing. And then you have the red and white, which is literally just a part of the goddamn Santa Claus shit from the Michael Jackson cover of Bad, which I think was the actual case for it. I don't remember that specifically, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. Now, let's mind you, this guy has no emotion in his voice. The value of what he's saying is undercut by the fact that he sounds like this, and everything just feels very bad, very horrible, very, very cringe. It gives you the feeling that you're going crazy, okay? You're going crazy, man. You're going literally insane. Every part of you is literally just leading into this, it sounds like when you're in the military and the siren goes off, the morning siren goes off, but instead of actually playing this, the siren just breaks, and then it just plays the first note over and over and over and over again. But let's keep going. I don't even disagree with many things in this video. Like, I agree with most of what he says, but like it's literally AI. I just want to like take the channel banner and name and strangle it and like tickle it. You know what I'm saying?
Remind you of any particular flag? Yep, it's based on the Star-Spangled Banner, because Sonic was tailor-made to appeal to American audiences. His whole vibe was inspired by American pop culture icons like Michael Jackson. That today, that brash coolness, it clashes hard with the more humble and approachable qualities Japanese audiences tend to prefer in their mascot characters, like Mario and Pikachu, who radiate this neighborly warmth. So really, Sonic was kind of set up from the start to be this fish out of water in his own country. He just doesn't tap into the cultural wavelength there the way he managed to in the West. But it goes even deeper than that, so let's rewind the clock and take a look at how this blue blur got lost in translation. To really understand Sonic's plight, we have to go back to the early 90s console wars between Sega and Nintendo. In Japan, Sega's Mega Drive, known as the Genesis in the West, was getting absolutely trounced by Nintendo's Super Famicom, which is the Japanese version of our Super Nintendo. It sold a staggering 17 million units in Japan. The Mega Drive? A paltry 3 million. That's less than a fifth of Nintendo's numbers. Sega was just getting destroyed on their home turf. And this disparity played out in stark terms when it came to Sonic 2's sales. Worldwide, Sonic 2 was a smash hit, selling 7 million copies. But in Japan, a measly 260,000. Sonic couldn't get any traction. Now, here's where it gets really weird. Sega of Japan made the puzzling decision to not release arcade ports of Sonic 1 and 2 in Japan, even though Sega branches in other countries were doing it.
Do you see it? Do you feel it? Do you feel it now? You can see why I would be just like, wow, this guy really just is AI. And it isn't like, okay, nobody should be able to tell. It's the most obvious shit in the universe. But he could just be autistic. He could literally just be autistic. Have, I think it's Asperger's? Oh my god, I keep saying Asperger's every time I mean Asperger's. I'm gonna get fucking canceled for that one day. But basically, it's like really, really bad. It's really, really, really bad. Because not only is like there's just this friendly neighborhood guy, just like the most biggest AI user or the biggest Asperger's haver imaginable, where I can't even tell the difference between the two. I'm just flabbergasted by the fact that like I cannot tell genuinely. Like, this is how I sound when I don't do voice training in the morning and I just record a video as soon as I wake up, as soon as I feel the everlasting sensation of the morning hit my earlobes. This is how I sound. So like when I say, oh my god, I might not actually like be this serious, it might not actually be, and I know I'm just beating this into your head over and over and over again, but like it's driving me up the wall, man. It's driving me up the wall. Like I just need to play more of it for you.
It's like they weren't even trying to promote their flagship franchise at home. Despite Sonic's rocky start in Japan, Sega made some notable attempts to turn the tide and make the blue blur more appealing to Japanese audiences. Sadly, these efforts often fell short, or even backfired. One of the most significant pushes was the Sonic X anime series, launched in the early 2000s. Sega clearly aimed to boost Sonic's popularity in Japan with this show. They brought in some serious star power, like having Hironobu Kageyama, known for his work on Dragon Ball Z, perform the theme song. They even introduced a new character, Chris Thorndike, specifically designed to resonate with Japanese children dealing with issues like parents too busy with work to spend time with them. However, Sonic X utterly failed to capture the hearts of Japanese viewers. The show's ratings plummeted so disastrously that the entire third season, the Metarex Saga, never even aired in Japan. It's a painful parallel to the Sonic OVA released way back in 1996, which was intended as a pilot for a potential anime series starring classic Sonic. That flopped too. Ironically, Sonic X went on to become a massive hit in the West, once again highlighting the stark divide between Sonic's reception in Japan versus other countries. More recently, the Sonic movie franchise has also struggled mightily in Japan. despite huge global success. The first two movies...
I think I've proved my point. But let's look at a previous video where you can clearly tell he's not using AI.
Let's talk about the latest in the slow-motion train wreck that is Ghost of THEW, the spin-off that everyone was looking forward for, featuring a lead character nobody expected, voiced by none other than activist Erika Ishii. And guess what? If you're not on board with it, you're already labeled a bigot by the fanbase the studio is pandering to. But here's the thing, this isn't about hating on a female lead. Let's break it down. Erika has voiced characters in other popular games like Apex Legends and Destiny 2. People didn't mind her then. So why the backlash now? It's because Ghost of Tsushima was beloved for its unique storytelling and respect for the culture it portrayed, until Sucker Punch decided to inject their woke agenda by focusing on identity politics, not story or gameplay. Sucker Punch hyped Erika Ishii as the perfect choice to voice the new lead character, Atsu, in a game set 300 years after the original Tsushima. Right from the announcement trailer, it was clear. They were selling the game, plus Erika's activism. Ghost of Tsushima was a masterpiece. Fans are rightly worried that this spin-off will sacrifice everything that made it great in favor of pandering to the loudest minority on social media. Proof? A quick search on Reddit will show you they're celebrating right now.
Yeah, you already know my feelings about that entire sentence. I don't really need to say anything but wow, pretty cringe. But, you know, other than that, you can just clearly tell, you can clearly see that this guy has no, feeling or emotion. And when he does, you can clearly tell it's a different voice. So it's like, wow, what's going on here? Definitely AI, definitely bad, definitely cringe, definitely should get out of my life, okay? We need to pop you out of the ecosystem and destroy you. Because honestly, I don't want anybody like this in the gaming community, especially covering Sonic, man. Sonic is about freedom, okay? But also, he's kind of anti-robot. So you know, fuck whatever this is. Fuck whatever is going on here. Basically, my brothers, if you like the content and all that cool stuff, like and sub, you know. I might make more videos on Unvoke whenever he posts, or might not if I think that might be close enough to harassment. I just hate harassment as a stance that a person can take, so I might not do it because it will classify as harassment if I do it too much. But yeah, thank you for coming, thank you for staying, thank you for watching the show. See you later.
Put your nose up in these britches. We'll see a deep throat, 0.5 inches. Yeah. I stuck my fingers in. You were high heroin. Are you now remembering?